score 4-0. Now we're going to get you to 197 pounds. An update on the Phil Davis J.D. Bergman match from Quinn Kesnick.
Yeah, a couple interesting things here. J.D. Bergman 2-1 lead as we enter the second period. Davis a finalist a year ago. Bergman 6th seed, upset in the first round. He's won 5 straight to get here for the Buckeyes, who sit in 10th place. And you know Tom Ryan, their first-year coach, wants to keep them in the top 10 in his first year.
Well, J.D. Bergman is a great example of what we were talking about. I know of 12 wins he's had in the NCAAs because as a freshman, he lost in the first round and he won 7 straight matches and came back and got 3rd. Now in this tournament, he lost early and he's won 5 straight matches. This guy is an Iron Man. He just wishes he didn't have to lose to prove it.
No kidding.
But that's, I mean, just off the top of your head, 12 wins in the NCAAs and just 2, I mean, you only have to win 5 straight to win the championship. He's done it the hard way. Not winning the championship, but getting back to the medal round.
Well, he was 3rd in 2004, and then he did not make All-American status in 5 and 6, but he's back again. He's an All-American. Just gave up a reversal, though. Davis now with a 1-point lead.
One of those was a redshirt year. I think he's a redshirt junior.
Davis, who lost to Kurt Backus in the semifinals last night. So runner-up in 2006. Finished 4th in the Big Ten tournament this year after winning it last year.
Come on, JD! This is Davis's move, the outside cradle.
And Bergman knows it. He's able to
Davis likes to drape over the top, especially get the forearm like that right there. Now he'll try to work to get the leg in, but Bergman again removes that crossface.
And now, you know, what is Bergman doing from an activity standpoint? Just warding off, trying to not get pinned. Well, that's stalling. And there it is. Fred Ambrose just called it. But I'm not sure, it's not pretty smart on his part. I mean, you know, as soon as you start wrestling in this, when you're as good as Davis is in that situation of the cradle, I'd rather get called for 1-point stalling than 3-point back or pin. Now he's got what he needs.
Tom Ryan, you see, the first-year head coach at Ohio State, doing such an outstanding job at Hofstra. And Tom Ryan taking over the Buckeye program, trying to get them in the mix for a national title someday.
Well, he just he wonders about this because Bergman just chose down, and it surprised Davis. Davis said, "Oh, he's not going to go down." He was ready to go neutral, and so Bergman chooses down on a guy that you don't want to be underneath. And I think we're going to see a little bit different kind of activity from Bergman right now.
Yeah, I like the way Davis went to that start line and he was saying, okay, I'm ready for you on the feet. Yeah. Bergman chose down. It would be an interesting to see how that choice is going to play out here. Davis, as you said, tough on tough, loves that outside cradle.
No riding time involved here, but there will be in about 30 seconds, but that's Bergman's job to get out. But you're not going to get out when you've got your wrist tied up. His elbows out, his head's on the mat. That's a wow. Now that was a strategy there that Bergman was hoping would happen, and I'm not so sure about that one. They just called the top wrestler Davis for stalling, and with Bergman had his head on the mat, his elbow out. That's not a position of action.
Yeah, Troy Sunderland came thundering off his chair, asking, "How could you call that?"
I don't blame him. Again, look at Bergman's head on the mat.
Bergman, he needs to escape in the next 20 seconds or riding time will be a factor.
Both have warnings on them for stalling.
And we're counting down now to the riding time. Cradle now by Davis.
Well, something's going to happen here.
He just needs to hang on. And he gets the reversal.
And he's going to bring the riding time back down. And so that's you know, something did happen, and the cradle was not tight enough. Bergman knew just how to shift his weight, extend his neck, and get the 2.
He's got also the bottom leg hook. That's called the Turk. And he's got Davis on his hip. It's
needs to
be
keep
hard
him on the mat.
That's right. It's going to be hard for him to get up.
Well, how about J.D. Bergman? Losing in the first round, and here he is 43 seconds away from getting into that third place match.
And they just called Davis for fleeing the mat, and that's a hard call. That's an official getting in the way.
I would say that if I'm caught in a Turk, I've only got one way to go to prevent from going to my back. Davis went in that direction, and
just happened to be out of bounds.
Yeah, and he got penalized.
Yeah, I mean, let's let the wrestlers wrestle, and that's what the fans want. So now J.D. Bergman has a 2-point lead. 1 point escape for Davis.
30 seconds now. Can Davis get the takedown, and can Bergman hold him off?
Well, and can Bergman be kept? If the official's going to be consistent here, they've called stalling. Now, is it going to be called if they're stalling in the last 20 seconds?
Either of these matches.
Bergman has to take a step forward, and he doesn't.
How much of a shot there? Bergman now moving into Davis, which will help.
Something's going to happen.
Davis and Bergman all tied up here with the upper body.
Bergman doing a nice job of taking some ground there. Now right there. Bergman wins.
J.D. Bergman, who lost in the very first round, has fought his way back through the wrestlebacks and will now have an opportunity for third place for Phil Davis of Penn State. That's a very disappointing defeat. And a couple of calls that went against him in that match. And I'm sure Phil Davis not real happy with the official. But it'll be J.D. Bergman moving on.
And it's a
Tom Ryan, the head coach at Ohio State, counting down those seconds. One eye on the clock, one eye on his wrestler, and there it is.
Tom Ryan, first-year coach at Ohio State, several years at Hofstra. Both his schools doing well in this tournament.
So J.D. Bergman escapes, and a 1-point win over Phil Davis of Penn State. Back with more of the NCAA Wrestling Championships in a moment.